You're on a 5-hour flight and someone next to you just lets one rip.
Ew.
Or you walk into a meeting with toilet paper on your shoe.
God, who has paper hanging out of their pants?
It was
Like, what are
embarrassing
you
for
doing
her.
with toilet paper? Like,
Today we're diving into those public moments that make us wish the earth would swallow us whole. Welcome to another episode of Three Voices Unfiltered. I am Suzanne.
I'm Teresa.
I'm Ranisha.
Hello, welcome. We really appreciate your support watching our episodes, and we ask you to keep hitting those subscribe and like buttons and share. So today's episode, we're talking about embarrassing moments, times when things happen that are really uncomfortable, and we feel like we just want the earth to swallow us. Can you guys sympathize with that?
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I've had my embarrassing moments. And so why do you feel that when things happen, we get so embarrassed about stuff? Like, I'll give you an example. I was at a doctor's appointment, and this was the nurse I went to urgent care, and the nurse that was checking me, when she turned around, she had a piece of toilet paper hanging out of her pants.
Ew. How do you get toilet paper out of your
It
pants?
was like behind her, hanging out of her pants.
Oh, that's nasty.
So I'm finding myself like, oh my gosh, do I say something to her? But I knew I didn't care for me. I wasn't embarrassed, but I knew she would be embarrassed.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So my question was, would she be better me not saying anything and just discovering it herself, or would she be embarrassed if I said something? I was struggling. I didn't know.
Both. I think both.
I think both.
I think no matter what decision you made, she would have been.
She's gonna be embarrassed.
I know.
But the thing about it is that is it more important not to tell her or not to tell her?
That's right.
And that's what I was
That's what
struggling.
I
I'm
was
like, do I tell her? So I did. As kind as because there's people around, so people wouldn't know. I would kind of like tap her, say, "You have some paper hanging out," and she was embarrassed.
Oh my God, who has paper hanging out of their pants?
It was embarrassing.
Like, what are you
for
doing
her.
with toilet paper? Like, I'm just trying to see how that happens.
I have no. Maybe she covered the seat,
Okay.
and somehow it got caught.
I'm not doing
I
my
don't
business
know.
like that in the public restroom. I'm just different. I'm not doing that in the public restroom. If I have to cover the seat, I'm going home. I'm going somewhere else.
If you have to sit,
I know that's.
so
I'm
do you
not sitting.
Squat? If you have to pee, do you squat?
I'm a squatter.
I'm a squatter.
Yeah.
I'm not
a
doing all
squatter.
that.
Yeah, my son will not.
In a public place, at home, of
Yeah.
course, I don't squat,
Yeah.
but
Right.
Yeah, my son will not go to the bathroom doing
number 2.
defecating.
Oh my God, I got a
In
funny
public
story.
place, he will not do it.
I don't do it either. Like when we worked, I would hold it all day.
This just happened last night. That's nasty. That's right. Go home for lunch. This just happened last night. Ralph had to stop to use the bathroom, but everything was closed. He went in the woods.
Oh my gosh.
He took paper that we keep lots of paper towels in the car. He went in the woods with
That's
his
funny.
napkins.
Mm-hmm.
You have
And
to go.
oh my God, he was in the woods for like 5 minutes.
Okay, I did that one time.
What?
Let me tell you. Okay, see.
I'm shocked.
Yes, let me tell you what. No, this was no. One time I went fishing. Okay, I love to fish. So
I didn't
went
know
fishing.
that about
when
you.
you go fishing, a lot of times you go to like really wooded areas, to get to the water.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were going through the wooded area to get to the water. And I don't know what was going on. I really had to go to the bathroom. It was too far to go. Even if I went back to my car, I would have to drive somewhere. And I don't, where was I? I
Wow.
don't even know where I was. And I really, 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 like really, 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 really.
Ooh,
and
no.
I'm just gonna leave it like that. I really did. And so the same thing with what Ralph did, you know. And you guys, y'all too bushy for me because it needs modern times.
I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not doing that. I'm like,
What did they do years ago? Years ago,
I
you have to
don't
go.
know. I wasn't born.
Woods. Yeah.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I
I
have
had to, y'all.
peed before. Like we went to Puerto Rico last year and we were at the bioluminescent bay. No porta potties, no anything. And we were going to be in that water. It was the beach, so I guess I could have used the beach. But anyhow, we were going to be on the boat for a minute, and I said, and she literally pointed, you can go over there, back there. So I guess it was a normal thing.
Oh, it was normal.
And I had to pee.
Well, you
so
guys-
I went. I've done that.
Okay,
in
I can
woods a
see
couple
that.
times.
But number 2 in the woods, or
I
that's
had
that's
to.
rough.
I mean,
think
let me tell you
John's done
something.
that.
The type of person, that's why y'all said what, because that's not me. But Mother Nature,
I understand. And
okay,
there's
the
people that have
bodily
IBS.
functions, I had to go.
Mother
Yeah.
Nature, don't we know this is coming? Like, why so?
You do-
not
but wait a
sometimes.
minute.
That's not as
and
well.
sometimes- wait a minute. And see, the problem was where I was trying to like hold it, you know, try.
So it makes it
So I
worse.
just could not
It makes it
anymore. And it
worse.
makes it worse, you know. And you don't want to have an accident.
Oh, no.
I don't. But I'll give you guys a tip about women in driving. I keep a little portable. I don't know. It's a. Okay, I got it off of Temu or Shein, something like that, right? But it's a little portable where a woman can use it like a man can use his.
Really?
Yeah, They have those things, and I keep it in my car. I keep a lot of little things in my car.
Okay.
Like I told you the other day, I keep a blanket in my car. I keep hand warmers in my car. I keep an extra pair of glasses in my eyeglasses in my car. So I keep extra things in my car.
Yeah.
And it just came up in my spirit one time to just get that, and I got that, and it's in the trunk. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's in
I-
it? What's in it?
It's nothing in it. It's a plastic apparatus.
Oh.
Okay,
Apparatus.
it's an apparatus that
To use
you
the bathroom?
so a woman can
Use
put it
bathroom.
against her body and urinate. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
my
not shocked that
gosh.
that stuff is out there.
That's-
I just
I
haven't seen
am.
it.
Yeah.
I think that's not a bad idea.
That's
Like-
not a bad idea.
Because if I can see me using that if I'm traveling, I'm in the car by myself late at night, I would rather.
That's a good
Because-
I
point.
guess you
Men
still
do
have
it.
to stop though.
You can't stop
Yeah.
by yourself. I wouldn't feel
I wouldn't
comfortable.
feel comfortable.
Men do it.
But that's a
Men
good
do
one.
it.
Yeah,
Men do it.
I want to ask you guys this about being embarrassed, because when I think of embarrassment, sometimes I think of shame. You know,
Yes.
I think of
Yeah.
like maybe like rejection, I guess, something like
Yeah.
that.
That's true.
That's what I think about when I think about being embarrassed.
Yeah.
But in my older age, and I'm just being honest, it's like if I do something and it's embarrassing, I just laugh it off. I'm like, it's life.
I do too. I
Yeah.
It's
get-
what it is.
Yeah.
I do too. I don't try to, and now with social media, which is one of our topics here, is you can use embarrassing moments to laugh. or
Yeah.
you can use embarrassing moments to shame. Like
Yes.
That's true.
some things on social media, people get shamed, and that's not good. I
Yeah.
think we should laugh. Like things happen. I didn't have an embarrassing. It was embarrassing actually to me, but it was also an uncomfortable moment, which I've shared with the ladies before. I went to a Journey concert, and I was so excited, you all, about this Journey concert. It was on my bucket list, so I was really looking forward to it. And I get to the Journey concert, and I'm excited. I'm, oh my gosh, getting all just adrenaline is pumping. I get to my seat and I'm trying to push my seat down, and my seat won't go down. And I'm like, my seat is broken. Why doesn't my seat in the stadium, those seats that come down and you sit, and it wouldn't come down. And then finally, I'm excited. I'm not even paying attention. I'm like, this seat's not going down. I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, and I realized that the person that was sitting next to me was kind of spilling over because the seat was still up to the back. And I had to ask her to squeeze in the other way because she was spilling over my seat. But I was embarrassed for her, and I was uncomfortable for me because I felt that I had to kind of call her out, and I'm not one that likes to make people feel bad. It's just not in my DNA. I'm really careful about hurting people's feelings. But so what I kind of jerked it a little harder to see if she would get that, but she was in her zone. I don't know what was happening. So I finally had to tell her to, excuse me, I need to push my seat down. And then she moved, but it didn't ruin the tone. I had a great time, but most of the concert she was according to my seat, so I'm pinched in because John's kind of a big guy. I'm pinched in like this.
Yeah.
She's clapping, and the clapping is in my face, and it was just really uncomfortable. But how would you have handled that? Like, I didn't know how to tell her, hey, can you please stay in your seat? I paid for my seat. It's kind of not fair. But I don't want to be entitled.
And it's kind of not fair, too. Yeah, that's like even being on a plane. When you're on a plane,
I was going to say that.
Never pick the middle seat. And I hate if I have to take a last-minute flight and I have to get the middle seat.
Me too.
Because
I was in the middle seat this last flight.
And I pray, y'all don't laugh at me, and I be praying, I'm on the flight, right? And I'm in the row by myself.
Right? I pray when I'm flying.
Nobody. And guys, we are not shaming anyone who is plus size. Trust me, this is not at all. Okay, because everyone has the right to fly. Okay,
or to anything.
But I was on the last flight. I was going to Cleveland, and there was clearly a lady who was a very large lady, and she was in a regular seat, and she was literally on that gentleman next to her. He was in the middle seat. She was in the outside seat. And I'm like, that's, like you said, infringing on what I purchased.
And paid for.
I feel like you need to be in first class or buy 2 seats.
That's a good idea, first class, because they're bigger seats.
That's
a good idea.
But in business class too.
But in a concert,
or business class,
are there bigger seats?
No, but you need to buy 2 seats if you know.
Yeah.
And
it's just, and like we said, we're not trying to shame anyone at all. Like, it's not about that. It's just about me. Like, how do I, if that happens again, handle this? Give us your thoughts. I'm honestly asking. I don't know. I don't want to, because you don't want to make anyone feel bad or embarrassed. That's not the goal. However, if I'm on a 5-hour flight to California, I need my seat. I want my
whole seat. Yeah, I felt bad for the guy in the middle because clearly they were embarrassed by the situation. Like, but they were just
that's
trying to.
It is tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Teresa made a good point about embarrassment. I don't know the last time I felt embarrassed. I feel like the older you get, the less
embarrassed
you feel embarrassed. I'm trying to think of things that have embarrassed me.
For me, I'm telling you, for my, for my experience, because now this is a little bit of a sad story, because when I was growing up, I was really embarrassed. I was a young, shy person, like really shy person, and my father was very. My father was a piece of work, but anyway, rest his soul. But my father, I was embarrassed because my father would get intoxicated. And when he get intoxicated, he would act out. And where I lived, in the street that I lived on, the area I lived in, all the houses were really close together. So when my father would get intoxicated on the weekend, come home and ready to, argue, fuss, and, whatever, then everybody can hear, or even if he's coming from his car, to the house, everybody can hear. That caused me a lot of embarrassment that I would not even be social with the kids or my friends. My friends did not live, on my block. All right, so of course they didn't know the friends that I had in school, but for the people the young ladies that were on my block, they were not my friends. Okay, because I was embarrassed, and part of it was probably me because I didn't, open myself up to be friends with them because I was embarrassed.
Yeah, when we're kids, I feel that anything is embarrassing. Like our episode about Sense and Sensibility, Kevin was embarrassed of me pulling out coupons.
Oh, yeah.
What else did we do? We used to clip coupons. But
you did that a lot.
We did. I
remember that.
Coupon. Kevin hated it. Every time we went out to dinner or lunch, I had a coupon. And he coupon, no coupon. We were talking about coupons, and he's like, "Oh, mom," he would be mortified, and I'm like, "It's just," or if I my meal was wrong and I would say something, oh, he hated it, and I'm like, where do you go again? Do. I'm like, Kevin, I asked for my steak to be, medium, and it's like I'm paying for this. Oh, he would be so just such little things that would embarrass us. That you're right now I'm like, whatever, okay, and don't care, and so don't get so embarrassed.
Yeah, and that's the point that I was trying to make, that embarrassment at such a young age, because I would say like from the age of,
why is that though?
10 to like 16,
yeah,
17.
Yeah, that's the embarrassment age.
I guess looking for approval, really, you think? Yeah, maybe we want approval, and
I think that's what embarrassment is.
Yeah,
because that you feel that people are going to view you differently or judge you or something like that.
Yes, and I did felt judged at that time, and so that carried throughout my adulthood.
I bet
20s and 30s or whatever. But at this age,
you don't care.
I laugh about it. It is what it is. It was what it was. And
I remember going to the grocery store and remember if you went, you knew your money was tight and you don't know if this thing is going to go through. I remember doing that so many times at the grocery store, like, God, please, is this going to work? And then if it declines and you got to put all those groceries back. Oof. Oh my, now that's embarrassment.
That's embarrassing.
I've been there many, many times raising my kids. You remember the electronic check? Like you used to write it and then it goes through this thing. Oh,
yes.
Oh my God, I'd be like praying, please God, let it work. Knowing that the money in the account was could be there, it could not be there. Oh, I don't know, but I got to write this check because I got to get these groceries. So write that check and it go through. I'm like, yes, oh my God, but the times it decline, I'm like, oh,
you can't
do
that anymore. Everything is instant.
Everything is instant. But remember, thank God for those days where it wasn't instant, and you had 3 days to get the money to put in the account. Oh my God,
technology is a good thing, but
technology is a good thing. Today. I think it's good though. I think that I don't like paying bank
fees. It wouldn't
be
good for me back then because I would probably starve some days. Yeah. Like my kids, we would probably eat bologna.
That's terrible.
Because that was life. That was life. Your reality.
What I'm saying is that it makes me think about. I had a discussion where we're so, as a society, so focused on doing the right thing and saving babies and things like that. I'm going way out. This is getting ready to be very unfiltered. However, we forget about the single parents that chose to have children and are struggling. God forbid they're getting assistance because that's embarrassing, and it is embarrassing for somebody that's getting assistance.
That's a good point.
And why can't she get a job? Because I have 3 children and I can't work. But it's the same people that judge one kind of decision, let's say for example to not have a child, right? But they don't want to support a struggling parent or ask you. I wish now I'm more cognizant that I would are you okay? Do you need groceries this week?
I've done
how are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's true.
But we don't do that. Do that. And maybe because it's embarrassing. Maybe it's embarrassing for me because some people will get insulted. I had a boyfriend one time that he was helping me with Kevin or something, and I came home one day and he had bought Kevin some clothes.
Oh, you're upset?
I was mad.
I'll be happy.
I was mad.
Thank you, boo.
I was mad because he said that he bought. I should have been thankful. He said I wanted to find some clothes for him to go to whatever event we're going for. His clothes were in the drawer because he was a preteen. They don't hang up their clothes. It all goes in the drawers. So I was offended, but that was the wrong attitude. I should have been thankful. But the point I'm trying to make is that we advocate so much politically. I'm getting political right now about certain things and certain social or religious or whatever you want to call the issue, but we forget that there's people struggling that need help. And it's embarrassing for them to ask for help.
That's true.
So how about we ask?
You made me think about a point. Remember the food stamps in the booklets?
Yes. Back in the day.
Oh my God. And when I had Trey, teenage mom, I had no job. I had no way of getting milk. I had food stamps. I remember getting that booklet. I'm like, oh my God. I hated going to the store. And how about when they didn't come out? Like, you're trying to pull them out and you're struggling. People are like looking like, what is she doing? What's taking so long? And I'm like trying to get this $20 food stamp out so I can get this milk and all the stuff he needs. I'm like, talking about embarrassed.
Yeah, and then people judge, and that's the point. Like,
the whole thing,
don't judge because you don't know the story. This mother is probably working full time, possibly working on a degree or not, but the point that they're working, they're trying, and then and it's embarrassing for them. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
And that's why I think that a lot of people, I appreciate my struggles.
Absolutely.
I actually do too.
When I was younger, and the reason I say that is because even though certain things were embarrassing, because I was a single parent as well, and even though certain things were, embarrassing, I'm glad I went through it, so that now I appreciate how I'm living in my retirement. Because if I always said that if I had to go back, if I had to, what do you call it? If I had to budget, okay, if I had to budget, I know how to do it, all right, and I would be really good at it, and I would make things stretch, all right.
That's right.
I would know if I had bills, I would know how to call this person, this company, and have the conversation. But all of that comes with not just maturity, but just not being so hard on myself.
Right.
Give yourself grace.
So it's not about my age. I don't want to keep talking about my age. I'm just talking about just be grateful even where you are right now. Start right here, right now, where you are right now, and just think about where you came from.
That's right.
And it's okay, like, give yourself grace, because we all have, we're talking about, and we got deep into embarrassing moments because from, toilet paper and stuck to your pants to this, but this is real. And
this real is embarrassment,
that can kind of cripple you.
Yeah.
Have you had embarrassing moments that have, like, crippled you?
I would say for me,
no.
the incident that happened when I was younger with my dad, you know what I mean? Because I believe that it did, because it affected me, throughout my, my early adulthood.
I can see that. I
can see that. You don't even drink, Teresa, and I think that's why. Right? Is that because of your dad?
Anymore?
No, I drink nothing. But anyway, so I mean, I had fun, y'all. I had a good time, but no, I probably didn't even have my I think I remember my first taste of alcohol. I think I was about 18, 19 years old.
I was like 15.
I was like 18,
I was older.
19 years old, and my son's father, his sister had graduated from nursing school. She was a nurse, and she had a party at the house, and I tasted, my first drink was like rum and Coke, and it was like
Teresa.
Tasty.
I mean, Suzanne, it's like
I want a rum and Coke next time.
And it was like, and it didn't. I didn't get it.
You didn't understand. Yeah.
I didn't.
What's
get
the point?
So
Right.
so
I think every first drink was probably.
I don't remember my first drink.
Well, I think we probably, growing up, coquito, our Puerto Rican eggnog was. You get that as a kid.
Well, in some
you
countries,
taste that.
In some countries, they drink wine.
Alcohol.
They give children
That's true.
wine.
It has rum. And then the Boone's Farm.
I remember drinking that.
That's like Kool-Aid with alcohol.
Kool-Aid.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
But I have it funny. It wasn't funny then, embarrassing. This is as an adult, and you all know when
I think I know what you're going to say.
At work.
Yeah, that the
was
email scandal.
Really embarrassing.
Ooh.
This happened years ago, and another employee, we were really cool friends, and we would, flirt with each other.
Did you like that friend?
We went out on a date.
Okay, I didn't know that.
On a date. And So we would email and just kind of like, just friendly flirting. There was nothing really there going on. Just anyhow. So one day I was sending him an email because we were supposed to see each other or meet or something like that. He lived a few hours away. And I sent an email and I was kind of being like double meaning. Is that how you say it? I don't know. But the email was something like, hey, what happened this weekend? Did you get tied up? Ha ha. Meaning, did you get tied up and couldn't make it? Or did you get tied up?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But it was kind of like funny like that. Not anything bad. And I may have said a couple other things, but the one that really sticks to me is, did you get tied up? In whatever else I said. Well, back then our emails wasn't like you had to manually add.
It was
each
an
person.
Outlook. It was a DOS.
Yeah, so you
program.
have to do like star all or whatever, or whatever the thing
hit
was for
one
each, for
to select email,
like
then
that.
type
This
in
is
your.
how back in the day it was.
Yeah.
So I was used to sending emails to the whole company doing the star all. Oh my gosh, I did that with that email.
We
It
all
went
got it.
to the whole company.
Here's what I heard.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I
was
was
like, what happened?
mortified.
She was in tears.
I was mortified. And then my email starts going beep, beep. People laughing. It was horrible. I thought I was going to lose my job.
Then the phone was ringing.
It was insane.
It was insane.
So my boss was in there. I went to his office. He was in there. And I went to one of the VPs in tears, crying, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. And anyhow, that was
embarrassing.
That was super embarrassing.
Yeah.
And they used my example in training. I found that out later.
Oh, wow. What not to do?
What not to do. It was used in training.
Wow.
So I couldn't even hide from it.
Wow. Yeah, that was.
People knew it was me. But anyway, that was really embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. I don't think I've had a cringe moment. My most embarrassing is like dating a weird guy. Like, I haven't had a whole lot of embarrassing things, but my mindset is what's embarrassing?
That's a good mindset.
I don't know what's embarrassing. Embarrassing to me is like bad breath. I mean, that's like.
But you don't know that.
Food in your teeth.
Food in your teeth. I'll tell someone if they have food in their teeth or they have something. I had a doctor's appointment this week, and when I got in the car, I had lip balm up here, and I wish you had told me I had lip balm on my face. Like I would have wiped it.
I don't know if I can't remember any really embarrassing things that have happened.
There's things, and I'm sure there's
but
things
that's
in my
embarrassing.
childhood as a kid that I was totally embarrassed about. If we get embarrassed from the things that our parents wear to.
Yeah, I'm sure as a child. But my parents were pretty cool. My dad was cool. I liked everything he wore.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what parents says. I was cool.
Yeah, my parents didn't do that to embarrass me. I didn't feel like they did.
I know he got embarrassed because he would tell me.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I tried not to do with my son. And I don't want to say never, but I was really cognizant about embarrassing him when I raised him. Because I remember even when he was little, I would take him into the bathroom. If we were in public, in a store or something, I would take him to the bathroom, take him to the side. I would grab his arm and pinch him a little bit, something like
disciplining.
That. Okay, but I would not sit up there and just go off.
Yeah.
That I will say happened to me. I was disciplined in front of my friends, and that was really embarrassing.
Oh, I would never do that to my kids.
But I didn't do that to Kevin. I mean, honestly, I would warn him like, Kevin, you're getting really embarrassed if you don't stop. Yeah, but I wouldn't because it was done to me, and I didn't. It was horrible.
Yeah, I don't want my son to see this video, and then he told my mom, "Remember that time?" And then I'm like, that's why I said I don't want to say never. But I do remember trying to be real cognizant about, embarrassing him. But he might get on here and say,
my kids,
my mom, blah, blah, blah.
That's what my kids, I'm going to show you guys something after this, what my kids said I did to them. I don't remember the things I did to them.
I'm sure there's stories that we don't remember. And
but
you quickly parenting, trying to get things done.
Oh my God, that parenting for me, I was in a whirlwind. My life was flashing before my eyes, and I can't tell you everything I did.
Survival, like literally
it was survival
going
mode.
through. Yes, it was. It was survival of today we made it, and nobody got Nobody died. Nobody
that's
went to the
all.
emergency room.
I just wish I had a relationship with God during that time that would help me so much.
So much
because I was
better.
struggling a lot on my own.
Now, but guess what? This is what I believe. I don't have grandchildren, but you do, and I have a cousin who has a granddaughter, and you have a granddaughter now too. Is that the things that we know now, now, you can pass along as grandparents. And when I say pass along to the actual grandchildren.
Yes.
Or to your child.
Mm-hmm.
In your case, to Kevin. To Trey. To
Alicia.
I remember which one had the baby.
And Amir.
And yeah. So
He don't have children.
he doesn't have
Oh,
children.
that's right.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. So the thing about
Yes,
it
that's
is
right.
that so what I'm saying to we can wrap this up is that
Yeah.
we can share. You can share your experiences with what you know.
Yes,
with
absolutely.
them. With them, and then remind them of certain things because you can remind Kevin.
That's what I tell. I used to.
of embarrassing things. You can remind your
That's
What
true.
I used to tell
embarrassing
Kevin.
things.
I would say, I'm trying to teach you from my mistakes. Because I had a friend say that to me. She said, I'm learning from your mistakes, which I'm glad she was learning from my mistakes. But
We make them.
That's really good.
so I would tell Kevin, I'm teaching you from my mistakes. Like, I don't want you to do what I did. Will you? Probably. But anyway,
All right.
Yeah.
So this was really interesting.
Yes,
How about
ma'am.
if you all share with us some type of embarrassing moment, whether with your own or one that you experienced or saw or did. I mean, sometimes we can do things that are embarrassing for other people. And don't go out there embarrassing people. Like, be graceful. Don't call people out.
And if you feel embarrassed, it's life. Like, life happens. Be
Roll with it
confident.
and
It's
go-
all
yeah.
about what you feel like is embarrassing or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most
You know.
people don't even realize you're embarrassed.
I mean, you slip on water, you fall.
laugh.
I mean, you got
funny.
toilet paper in your butt, which is nasty. I don't know how they did that, but
Wait a minute, you be in public and you pass gas.
you pass gas.
It's a
Oh
natural
my
body.
gosh.
It's a
I've done
natural
that.
bodily
That's
function.
happened to me by accident.
And that happens by
It
accident.
does. How about when you
That is
have your
embarrassing.
first kiss and you go in there and you bump heads?
That's embarrassing.
That's happened to me. Like, are you hitting the nose because your eyes are closed?
Yeah.
Like, that's
I
embarrassing.
think
But
first kisses are like really embarrassing.
first kisses are embarrassing.
First kisses are usually not great.
It's not. I remember it felt like a
Maybe-
cold sponge in my
Maybe
face.
one or two. Oh, I mean like a first kiss with a different person.
Oh,
My first kiss was first was horrible. But I'm saying first kiss with different people. I think most of them have been awkward.
oh, first
and
kiss with a
embarrassing.
different person. Yeah, it's always awkward, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
got to make sure
okay.
your breath is like you're over here like. I mean, you're checking the breath. You make sure that's good. Then you're like closed or open. Like,
Yep. Do I go?
do I know you like that?
what?
Like,
Okay, this is.
Anyway, we're going to wrap it up, you guys. Because
We're gonna wrap it
up.
on and on. But this is Three Voices Unfiltered.
Three Voices Unfiltered, and let's do hashtag 3VU cringe. What makes you cringe? What's embarrassing? What is?
Let's do 3VU embarrassing moments.
that's what I
Let's
said.
do
Good
that.
one, too.
Okay, scratch. 3VU embarrassing moments. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, subscribe, follow, like,
Share. Goodbye.
bye.
Do us a big favor and hit that like button, share this episode, and subscribe.